Because of the severity of Ethan's brain injury, doctors weren't exactly sure who Ethan would be, what he would remember, or if he'd even be able to speak once he regained consciousness.
He just stares. You don't know if he's looking at you, you don't know if he's looking through you, you don't know if he even knows you're in the room. It's just this emptiness that you just stare into day after day, week after week.
On the morning of September 21st, 2019, as they were eating breakfast, Ethan's nurse came running.
She said, "You guys need to get back to the room right now. Right now." He just opened his eyes and said, "Hi, how are you?" I was sprinting down the hall, and when I got to him, there was a nurse standing right beside him that was checking his oxygen and everything going on there. And she said, "Do you know who this is?" And he said, "Mom." And it was very slow, but it was enough. And when he said, "Mom," I was like, okay, if I have to go home like this, I'm good. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
It's hard to explain the emotion that it's probably the best thing I've ever felt. I mean, even having the kids be born, marrying my wife, it was that best feeling that pretty much trumped it all.
The boys won their first game against Riverton, and they brought you the game ball.
I'll be excited to let them know what you're doing.
Now awake, Ethan's fight continued. Fighting to regain his ability to not only move, but to speak.
We'll take some work. Don't try too hard. You just gotta rest.
You got nothing but time, buddy. Nothing but time. It's okay.
The road ahead was long, filled with many ups and many downs. But it was a road the Ashers embraced with every ounce of their faith.
The helicopter pilot was very adamant about us seeing and touching Ethan in the helicopter. We didn't know until the next day that they had us come over because they didn't think he'd make it through the flight. It's very surreal to think about now. With just his aorta alone, he wasn't supposed to leave the scene. He wasn't supposed to make it to the hospital. He wasn't supposed to make it to Billings. He wasn't supposed to make it through the night. Everything that wasn't supposed to happen, God showed up, which is exactly what we prayed for, that God would just change this story and make it happy.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8.
The time course of recovery in Ethan's case was remarkable. Coming in a coma, recovering from that really is miraculous.
Woo. Ow, meaning that was hard.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
In early October, the Ashers chose to send Ethan to Craig, a world-renowned neurorehabilitation center in Denver, Colorado.
Craig is a different atmosphere than I've ever experienced in my life. And I think a lot of patients and even staff could say that too. There's so much hope that is here, and there's so much drive for getting you the best situation that they possibly can.
Did you push yourself all the way back up?
I think so.
As Ethan continued his journey, his team continued theirs.
Looking good, guys, looking good.
It was an emotional roller coaster, honestly. There were times where we were doing super good and we had a new quarterback in there stepping up, and there were times where it was hard knowing that he wasn't out on the field winning those games with us, but he was always there, and our mindset was just one game at a time.
The same week Ethan arrived in Denver, the Panthers traveled to Cody to face off with their longtime rivals, the Cody Bronx.
Hands it off. He's got a block.
It didn't go well.
Goes into the end zone.
Cody rolled the Panthers, winning 38-14.
That away.
There were things that went on in the middle of the year where we had some setbacks.
Way to finish, Geller.
Just as far as wins and losses go, we had to beat Green River to make the playoffs. That in itself was a playoff game in the regular season. Going into the playoffs as the 4th seed, I would say that we were underdogs, but you wouldn't have known that going to our practices.
Jack's on 2, 1, 2, Jack!
Before the games, the excitement that I witnessed, the confidence that I saw, I knew our guys were ready.
They would win their first-round game over Lander easily, setting up a rematch with the team who only 3 weeks earlier had beaten the Panthers by more than 3 touchdowns.
As a player, yeah, I was nervous. I'm sure everyone was, but our senior leadership was great. We went into the locker room saying, let's just do it one more time. Let's come off this field winning this time.
Cody is a very, very good team. We knew that we had to play our best to be successful that night.
Ethan's passion is football. Ethan played for the love of the game. He played for the love of the Brotherhood. He was determined to go to state. He believes in every play then and every play now.
More games are going to decide that not one play. It's going to take multiple plays for us tonight, all right? Let's make sure we stay together, have some fun, okay?
Their win over Cody marked the first time ever that a Wyoming 3A team had made it to the title game as a 4 seed.
Those boys. The day of the accident, those boys all showed up at the hospital. And we have received messages almost daily from somebody on his team that is contacting us and just saying, how's he doing?
Look what you guys have done this whole season. This is you. You guys started from the very beginning, and look what you guys have accomplished. Look what you guys are doing, okay? How about that brotherhood? Let's go, let's go!
I just want to hug every single one of them. The love that we feel for that team and for them to push through something like this, for them to make it to the state finals, holy fright. That in itself is just this huge accomplishment that they should be so proud of themselves.
We made it.